New Jersey's Governor-elect Phil Murphy has some bold ideas. One of those, before he takes office, he's talking about how in his first 100 days, he wants to make marijuana legal, recreational use. And he said that it's beyond decriminalizing marijuana. He wants its use to just be legal across the board. Well, not so fast, say a couple of state senators, one Democrat saying, we need to really look at this, and one Republican, Senator Joe Panaccio, saying if you really look at the Colorado model, you don't have the revenue projections that the governor-elect is talking about, and crime actually has gone up, hurting some of those the law would be intended to help. I'm joined now by Senator Joe Panaccio in Morris County. Joe, welcome to Chasing News. How are you?
Thanks for having me on, Bill.
So what struck me about your statement first is that the governor-elect has been specific about this being a social justice issue, saying that we have too many Black and Latino youth being imprisoned because marijuana is illegal. You say it's exactly the opposite.
Well, it's a specious argument. First of all, the people that are in prison, the vast majority, they're in prison for having distributed marijuana.
Senator, what's your plan? I mean, I know Ron Rice is out there on the Democrat side saying no. Do you have a coalition in the Senate? You going to stop it?
Well, the best thing to do is let's put a spotlight on this. Let's talk about the issue. I want to rely on science, not social science. I don't want to rely on political science to make these decisions.
All right, Senator Joe Panaccio, thanks for joining me tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, Bill.
All right, take care, Joe. All right, let's bring back the A-plus panel to break this down. And Misty, let's start with you. The governor-elect has talked about social justice, saying that Black and Latino youth are being arrested and incarcerated at a much higher rate in states where marijuana is illegal. But the stats in Colorado, Department of Public Safety, show exactly the opposite, almost a 60% increase of Black youth being arrested.
Right, and I think that that's really the key here. Why not take a step back and look at what happened in Colorado? The legalization, decriminalization of marijuana, that's a relatively new concept. So why not look at a state who's done it and see the impact on the people? So at the very least, you can watch what the loopholes are, what the problems are, and really enact something that won't be harmful to the state.
And Laura, as an attorney, I mean, kind of break this down in a logical way. They're talking about these, the platitudes. We talk about social justice. What does that really mean? And then when it comes to revenue, the governor-elect said $300 to $400 million. Colorado, about 1% of their budget, only $156 million in revenue.
Well, here's the thing. I think we would be mistaken to leave the social justice impact out of this as if it's not a real thing. It is a real thing. There is a serious prosecution and sentencing disparity between minorities and whites and different types of drugs. And that's something that needs to be looked at because it impacts our society. But I don't think that we should be looking at this as something that needs to be fixed as fast as possible, because I think that's where problems will happen. We should look at data. We should look at science. We should look at economics.
Why do you think so many leave out the data, though? I mean, if you look at Colorado and you're saying, look, you've got an increase, I mean, a jump in Black and Latino youth being arrested after legalization. These are just 2016 numbers. Well, it seems that that's left out of the discussion.
Well, I mean, I think you're right that it should be part of the discussion. I don't know that that's necessarily an argument for voting against legalization of marijuana, but it should certainly be considered as one of many factors. However, if we're going to do something right now, right quickly, what should be done is fixing the medicinal use of marijuana. That should be done first, and then we can do this in an intelligent and thought-out manner.
Frank, are they rushing to judgment on this? I mean, a 74% increase in drug use among young people in Colorado. That's in a state that's fighting an opioid epidemic. That seems crazy to legalize it now.
And Bill, that was my point to this. We should not be encouraging children to use more drugs. We shouldn't be making it easier for young adults to smoke marijuana. And this is Phil Murphy's New Jersey now. The new normal is that this state is going to become California East, and we saw how that's worked out over the past few years.
But here's the thing. It's real easy to look at any criminal law issue and say, well, we should never lighten up on this thing because it's encouraging bad behavior, when in fact we have limited resources and they have to be allocated
He's
in a way that
talking about going
sense.
from 0 to 60 in 100 days, and that's not smart.
That's
I
the
agree
problem.
with you. And decriminalization of marijuana under certain amounts is different than legalization across the board. Those are really two separate issues.
You got to give him a little credit. He is not even governor yet, but he's got a bipartisan coalition of opposition building every day. Not too bad.
Get used to it.
All right, Frank, thanks for being here.
Yes,
Laura, good to see you. Thank you, Misty.